Hi everyone, I'm Chris. I am the PPC Marketer at Digital 22 and I deal with all things Google Ads, not so much Bing Ads, because although we try and get our clients on there because it is such a good platform and the returns you get are very good, there's just not enough volume going through it still. So a little about me, I've worked in PPC for around 10 to 12 years now, and up until about a year ago I did have my own small agency managing budgets anywhere from 500 to 60,000 a month. After that, it was mainly e-commerce clients, selling everything from wigs to bonsai trees to classic cars, anything that could be bought in a single purchase. We managed those accounts. I moved on from the agency side and I went working in-house for a national car leasing company, managing their spend of around 100,000 a month. Literally, some days it spend 7,000 on, and the campaigns weren't set up as I like, so I moved on. And now I'm at D22, working there, helping the clients get the most out of their Google Ads. Basically, I don't like wasting any money. I'm really tight northerner. I don't like wasting my own money, and I don't like wasting our clients' money, so I will do all I can to get the maximum results for the minimum spend. There is no right or wrong way to do Google Ads. Everyone will say, if you speak to an agency, they know the best way, you've got to do it this way, but all accounts are different. So if you've got something that works for your account, then that's great, build on that. But what Google Ads needs, it needs a solid foundation. You can't build it up. People get sidetracked now with dynamic this, remarketing that, insights, audiences. But if you've not done the basics properly, then all that's going to do is just cost you an absolute fortune further down the line. Now, these are factors that in my experience and opinion can make a massive difference the further down you go. And the worst thing with Google Ads is that anybody can set up an account. So you might be telling one of your friends who's a builder that you've got Google Ads running, he's done it wrong, and before you know it, it's cost him $4-5 grand, and he's got absolutely nothing back from it. And if you speak to Google, anytime you ring up Google, the first thing they will say to your Google rep is, oh, have you increased your cost per click? Has anyone ever rang Google and asked them that question, that my ads aren't working properly, I don't think I'm getting the amount through? All they will say to you is, just up your cost per click. They don't ask you to look at anything else. So some of the stuff we're going to go through today, if you do all this properly, then you should see better returns from your Google Ads. So now what we're going to go through, it's not new, it's not profound, and it's definitely not rocket science. It's just some stuff that if you do properly will make it work much better. But aside from all that, 85% of the above the fold now on Google is paid for. Everything. Google is fast becoming a pay-to-play search engine. We've got a very good SEO team in-house. They are brilliant at what they do. But the fact of the matter is, I can go away and in 3 hours, I could have a listing above 18 months of hard work just by paying. So all the hard work you can do can be undone by someone setting up a Google Ads account. And you might say you're still number one naturally, which is brilliant. Having the number one organic listing is very, very good. But if there are 4 paid listings above you, and then you get a structured snippet in there as well, so that's 5th, so really you're number 6. And then if you get the maps feed as well, you're about 2 pages down in the results, and that's with all your hard work going in. Google makes approximately $100 million from ads a day. So that is a frightening amount, and when you think about that, that is just pixels on a screen. That is it. No one ever owns anything. You're paying for real estate on someone's mobile phone. That's all you're paying for. So when you're there, you want to make sure that when you are appearing in these search results, you're doing everything you possibly can to get that person to interact with what you're doing and complete the goal that you want. So the factors I want to go through today are location, expected CTR, you've got your ad relevance and your ad rank, the landing page experience, and then the final one, which is the one that people overlook the most. And when you think about it, it's absolutely frightening that they do. So your location, now the advanced location settings in Google are not as advanced as what you'd imagine. Ignoring this setting can literally cost hundreds of thousands of pounds if you ignore it. If you're an e-commerce site and you want to sell to people in the UK, if we go through to this next one, Google's recommended setting is people in or who show in. Now this is its default setting as well. So if you don't know what you're doing, the amount of accounts I've seen set up by other agencies who've overlooked this, and then wonder why the clients are spending more than what they should. It's absolutely ridiculous. You need to make sure you're paying for this. It's not like you're just showing up in the natural listings. If someone clicks this, you're going to pay for it, so you need to show it to the correct people. doing this simple thing can literally run into hundreds of pounds. And I see people around the room looking at it, knowing that it is simple, but the amount of people who don't, it is mind-boggling. And then we go through, we have got expected click-through rate and actually your click-through rate. Now, the expected click-through rate, that's a bit of a difficult one because this is Google's estimation of what it will be. So it puts yours above your competitors. But what you can see with the expected CTR is that Google will assign you a ranking of below average or average, and this is based on the exact match of your keywords. You can use the expected CTR to see if you need to rethink any of your search terms, or you might need to change the text of your ad. This is a great tool for looking at that and just making sure that we are sticking to all the guidelines that we know we need to follow. At below average status, you might want to start rethinking what we've got in there, and always use this to identify search terms that might not be great there in the account. The ad relevance is a big one. With the change, there's been a change recently with the Google match types, with the exact match going off intent rather than exactly what it was. Now personally, I preferred it when an exact match was an exact match. I don't want Google telling me what my search's intent are, because I would like to think that I know my target audience a bit better than them. Now they're all going on about, you know, automated bidding and everything like that, and there is the dynamic ads that Google put in and ad suggestions, but you need to remember, if you're marketing your account, nobody knows your business better than yourselves. So you can't have a machine writing your adverts and expecting them to work well. This is, you're in control of this, so you need to keep everything highly relevant, your ad groups, your keywords tightly matched, ensuring that when we're getting them in there through there, everything is exactly what they're looking for. Single keyword ad groups, they used to be great, but with the changes now, you're going to end up with a lot of duplicate content in your account, making it difficult to manage. And the simple amount of negatives that you're going to need in there to make them work properly means that you could miss out on clicks and ultimately conversions, which affects the profit of the account, which is the main thing that we're all looking for. And with the ad relevance, just be relevant, show authority with what people are looking for. If they put a search in, give them what they're looking for, make your ad stand out, and be genuine, and always put the user first. The landing page experience. Now this is a tough one because a lot of people, when they're doing PPC, they don't use a PPC specific landing page, which is absolutely, I'm not a fan of it. I always like us to use a page specific for this, because your goal should always be to have them to complete their clicks in as fewer clicks as possible. So you don't want them to have to get through to the page. You've paid for them to get there. The average cost per click in the UK is, I think it's 66 pence up to like £1.25. If you're lucky. So some of them, when I was in car leasing, some of the cost per clicks were £15. So if you're paying that money to get someone into your site, you want them to complete your goal in as fewer clicks as possible. Your landing page, it needs to be good. It needs to be good. So these are just some tips that if you have got a poor landing page, these are some tips to improve it. So you've got the relevancy of the landing page to the ad. Keep it what it's about. Show people what they want. Give them the content that you know will make them convert. Don't overwhelm them with links. What I like to do is take the functionality out of the header, because you don't want them clicking off. You don't want them clicking anywhere else. So maybe take your header, convert it into an image rather than having all the links functional, and just have it there so it looks like the rest of the site, but it doesn't work. They can't click back. We've got them there. The minimum we want is an email address. We want to add them into our database so we can nurture them if they don't complete there and then. Use solid site architecture, the same as the rest of your site. Your site needs to be built well. It all goes down to those solid foundations. Have your clear call to action, make it easy for them to complete your desired goal. Obviously high quality images, a powerful heading, keep it short and to the point. Don't have like an absolute load of text on there when 2 paragraphs will do. We want to keep them engaged. We want them to see that they found what they needed and that they can complete their goal. Experiment with your form lengths. This is a good one because people aren't probably going to give that much information straight away unless it's a very, very high ticket price. So keep it short, the form lengths, get them into the system so we can start nurturing them and we can start sending out information. Add your social buttons and your trust signals. So if you've got all your profiles there ready to go, add all them in. Any awards, they show that you've got authority, you know what you're on about, add all them in. I'd always keep your site speed in mind, because if it's slow, if it's cumbersome, people are just going to find a way of clicking off whether they paid to come there and whether you paid to get them there or not. So those are just things to keep in mind when we're going through that. And finally, this is the last one, and the amount of people that neglect the quality score is a massive deal. Quality score is a ranking of 1 to 10 that Google give your account based on your organisation and performance. Now, people forget that the organisation of your account is an absolute massive factor. So if you've had poor historical quality scores, that will affect your account. So you can't, if you've got anything that's in there from a 1 to a 5, you need to be taking that out. You need to be making steps to improve that, because we'll see further on that has a detrimental effect on the account overall. So you've always got to aim for as high a quality score as possible. Make sure you've got your site links in there, you've got your call out extensions, everything is highly relevant to your ad group. The bid. If we've taken care of everything else that we've done through this, so we've got everything working properly, the landing page is brilliant, we're getting people in, now is not the time to be tight with the bid and strangle the account from working properly. You need to make sure that you put a correct cost per click in that will allow people to find your ad when they're searching. So don't scrimp, don't try and save a few pence here and there, because if you've done everything wrong, your cost per click will always be lower than your competitors, even though you're above them, because you've done everything right. So we just need to make sure that we let that work properly. No penny pinching, as I keep telling Mark. And make sure you regularly check your quality scores. I check ours every month or so. Take your top 20 search terms, get an average. Don't be scared to check out any underperforming ads, keywords. Always make sure you're testing your ads, your call to actions. We're trying new site links, we're trying new ad formats, everything like that. And because of the rise of mobile now, if you're coming up in a paid search, have your site links in, have your call out extensions in, try and take up that full screen when it comes up, because you're paying to be there. You want to make sure your competitors aren't on that first bit. So it's almost like it's a land grab. You want to take as much real estate from them as we can and then keep that moving forward, and that'll improve the account overall. This is why your quality score is so important. You can see there anything from like 1 to 4 and your prices are increasing, and then anything from 7 upwards, you should be getting a lower quality score than what your competitors get, cost per click, sorry. And it increases your click-through rate, it improves the relevance to the searcher, and overall it improves the ad performance, which is the main thing. We want the account to be working properly. We need it to be profitable. The thing with Google Ads is that if you're not doing this, it turns into an absolute money pit, and before you know it, you start chasing your money, and then that's where it really is not going to work for you. And then this is how the ad auction works. So if you look at the bottom, so you can see you've got a quality score of 10, which your cost per click times your quality score is your ad rank, which is 15, which is a great ad rank. And then you can see that the people you've got there have got 12 below, so it's all worked out here. So you can see that's how it gets to your cost per click. So when you look at it like that, you see why it's also important now, having the solid foundations, making sure that we've got the landing page working properly, that we've got the site links, the ad extensions, the keywords, landing page, all tightly matched. Everything goes to this. So what our ultimate goal with Google Ads is to get the maximum out of it for the minimum budget whilst keeping everything running properly. Because if we do all this, and if we take care of all these little factors, this last bit takes care of itself. So you've done all that all the way through, and in my opinion, this is the best way to run your ads. So in summary, for the location, it's not as advanced as it sounds. Just make sure that you're only showing to the people you want an action from. With your expected CTR, do the basics well that we've gone through, and this will take care of itself. For your ad relevance, keep your ad groups highly focused, and always make sure we're testing our ads. Test them every 14, 30 days, just to make sure that you're getting the best out of everything that you've got out there. The landing page experience, this is pretty simple. Just give the users what they want. Just if they're searching for something, show them that you've got it, and show them how they can get that service or product from yourself. And the quality score, keep all that in check, and this should be up around the 9 and 10, and that should really boost your campaign performance. Thank you.